That was my job. I went to the smokers, Alpha, all of them. And I'm going to be honest with you. The Alphas were distinguished men, had good grade point average, students, very studious. But they were gay. A lot of them were very gay. Serious. In fact, there was one Alpha guy used to come by our room and used to wrestle with us. We used to beat the shit out of him. And we didn't understand what he was doing. You're recording this.
We'll edit it out, don't worry.
But anyway, that was out for them. No Alphas. That was a beautiful, light-skinned girl on campus that no one would talk to. I said, why would I talk to that pretty girl there? He said, well, she has a boyfriend that's a Q, and the Q look out for her, but he went in the service. He left school and in the service. I said, oh man, that's bull. So Paul Jackson go up and introduce himself, and she becomes my college sweetheart. So she told me one day, she said, Paul, please don't ever try to go Q, or they would kill you. So Q was out. Sigma was on campus, and that was about it. Right, Rigo? They would have a smoker, and when you left there, you were one of their pledges. I mean, that's the way they would trick you into pledging. So they were out. So Kappa was a bunch of guys that were athletes, first of all. They had all the pretty girls. No choice. to do. And this is my line. 19 brothers, all with over B averages. The little girl in the center there was our sweetheart. Back in those days, you all had a sweetheart. Now Rigo said he had a little haze in that skin. Harry don't believe it, but I wasn't hazed. I was paddled 3 times. And the reason I was paddled 3 times was because of that little old pretty girl right there. She was dating a big brother. And he found out about it. He found out that I was dating her. That is the truth. I would not lie on camera. So we played Kappa. Kappa was it. At black schools I think my fellow brothers can tell you, once you became a fraternity, and if you got into the top fraternity, which Kappa was at Tuskegee, that was it. I mean, you run the campus. You were the man. That was in December of 1958. In 1959, I went to my first conclave. That's in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 1959. And you can see that I'm a young, good-looking guy still. I got my ROTC uniform on at the closed banquet. The gentleman next to it went to Alabama State, and he was a delegate. I was not a delegate. I paid my way from Tuskegee to Philadelphia, a Greyhound bus. We got on a Greyhound bus, and we rode about 2 days to get to Philadelphia to attend that conclave. And I said then, Lord willing, I'll never miss another one. I missed a few, but I've missed many. Kappa was always full of achievers. And what I wanted was a vehicle that took me down an avenue to continue my achievement. Always wanted to always loved to draw. And that's what I've done all my life. I'm still drawing. Right now I'm doing appraising. And every other day I'm drawing. No, I don't do it freehand anymore. I do it on computer. But that would have happened to me. Kappa has given me that. I've met people all over the country in Kappa by attending provinces. We used to have C. Roger Wilson's meetings. I don't go to those anymore. And Grand Conclaves. Only time I miss is when I was in Vietnam. I missed. In Japan, I missed. And when I was ill for Minnesota, when I wasn't able to go. So Kappa gave me that vehicle to continue achievement. And that's what it's all about. Like I said it the other night. You can be a Kappa any kind of way you want to be. But I want to be one that achieves, that do something for the people, for the less fortunate. And that's what we're supposed to be about. Kappa is a social fraternity. Don't ever forget that. It's a social fraternity. However, and when Alexander was alive, the fraternity did not go into political things because of him. Because he said, hey, this is not about that, it's about social. But because we have so many black professional men, we've had to lean toward social and political action so that we can get things done. And that's why you see us moving in that direction. But Kappa is still a social organization. We're still supposed to drink liquor. We're still supposed to socialize, have parties, and do things like that. And we need to start doing more of that.
I'm talking about. And what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Now, when Alan told me he was going to call on us to talk, he wanted us to mention that, what it meant, Kappa meant to us, why we became a Kappa, I think he said. Then he said, your proudest moment. Well, I can tell you some proud moments, and it would take forever. But I went through my brain, and I came up with a couple, maybe three. The first one was when Kappa started life membership. I believe it was $100, and I was in school, and money wasn't tight for me, I'm not gonna lie. Because I used to work at the nightclub. And I used to drive from Tuskegee to Montgomery, wait tables, pick up $15, $20, $30 a night, come back to school, wasn't no problem. I started on my life membership with $50, but for some reason I didn't finish it. Got it later on for $300. I've been a life member, I think now, since 64. The other time is when the good Lord blessed me to be on this earth for 50 years. You know, in June of 2006, I had my mitral valve in my heart repaired, which is a serious operation. That's why I didn't go to Minnesota. But he allowed me to stay here to get that 50-year pin. I'm proud of that. But probably the most proudest thing that ever happened to me in Kappa life is when my 3 sons became Kappas. My oldest son, Kerry, which some of you may know, was at Florida A&M, and Cornell Cummins, a good friend of mine, called me and said, they're going over Paul Friday night. Well, I told the wife, I said, I'm going to leave about 12 o'clock, but they get me there in a good time. 12 o'clock noon. It was going over after 8 o'clock. It took me 8 hours to get from Tampa to Tallahassee. I was so sleepy. I don't know why I was so sleepy. But I stopped in every rest stop between Tampa and Tallahassee. That's the truth. And if you have your journal, you look on page 42, you will see the Jackson clan. Each of my brothers, each of my sons, my brothers. You all know Kevin. You don't know, you may not know the other two.
Keith?
Keith and Kerry.
Yeah, Keith and Kevin.
Yeah.
But my glass. But I want you to know, that how many of you in here have sons that are captains? Okay. I don't know what about you, but I never said anything to my sons about being captains. Never have. That's why I'm not, and I don't ask anyone to be a captain. I think you do it by example. I took them to Providence. I took them to conclaves. I gave them goals to meet. That they had to make certain grades. C's wouldn't do it. Okay, we had to put we set the standards high. And I found out from someone else that they was pledging Kappa, and that made me proud. And that's what it should be about. So when the journal asked me to give us a picture, and those of you that haven't seen your journal, it's in your letter. It's here. 4 of the best looking gentlemen in town. I'm real proud of it, man. Now, I know that all of us don't have 3 boys. I don't plan on having 2. But the others slipped up on me. But I am so proud to stand before you as a 50-year life member with 3 life member sons, all doing well. Never been in any trouble. Never had to support them. When they got the BS degree, I said, that's it. Anything else you want? If you want a doctorate? If you want a master's, it's up to you. I'm finished. I just wish now that I could carry that journey all the way home to my Almighty and join Perry Sullivan, who just died out of our clan. Richard Powell, and hopefully meet Ella Watson Diggs and all the founders. As Harry said, we saw Baron Armstrong and Alexander before he died. It was in Chicago. We took a train up to the conclave. And I will end with a little joke. When those brothers got to heaven, they were met at the door by St. Pete. St. Pete told them, said, welcome, Kappa man. So we're real proud of Kappas up here. And say, all your good brothers are down there in that 11th door. I said, but I want you to do me a favor. As you walk by those other doors, go real quiet. Because in those doors, there's the Alphas, the Qs, and those other groups. And they think they're the only ones up here. So just walk slowly to door number 11, and you'll find all your Kappa brothers there. And I hope one day that we all can be there and keep that good spirit of Phi Nu Phi going. Thank you, and have a good Kappa life.
Okay, Brother Jackson, I think you got Brother Hammond's time. And brothers, can we give them another round of applause, please? Okay, brothers, at this time, we're going to bear with us for a few moments. We're getting ready to set up.